Despite not making the biggest splash during the 2020 NBA playoffs, the Brooklyn Nets, led by the star duo of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, are going to be a contender for the 2020-21 NBA title. However, the team does have some issues in its roster to resolve. Key players of the team, who have become free agents during the off-season, have attracted interest from many teams, as per NBA trade rumors. One of these players is Joe Harris. But before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. I'm trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, let's get right into this. Joe Harris is not a very versatile player. He can't create for himself or for others, and he also cannot call the shots for his team. What he can do, however, is make threes after threes, especially when the team needs them the most. However, with his free agency looming over the Brooklyn Nets, it remains to be seen what Joe Harris decides to do. While only time will tell what decision he makes, here are two teams that are the best and worst case scenarios for Joe Harris this off-season. The decline of Danny Green for the LA Lakers has been there for all to see. The three-time NBA champion simply does not seem to have it in him anymore to perform at the level needed to play for a contender. The Lakers front office seems to be aware of the same too, as they have reportedly included him in deals for an NBA trade away from the team. While that would be unfortunate for Danny Green, it would be the perfect opportunity for Joe Harris. The 29-year-old is exactly the kind of player the LA Lakers are looking for. Couple that with the fact that the team has proven itself capable of winning an NBA championship, a move for Harris to the Lakers makes absolutely perfect sense. Considering the same, if the LA Lakers come calling for his services, it would be in Harris's best interest to accept the offer and move away from Brooklyn. While the New York Knicks have gotten a new head coach in Tom Thibodeau, that would solve only a part of the problem. In reality, the franchise is nowhere near the playoff picture, and their front office has failed them for the last decade. In fact, the Knicks could arguably be called the worst-run franchise in the entire NBA. As if that was not enough, the New York Knicks can no longer attract any free agents due to their deplorable situation, which means that there is little to no hope of the franchise improving anytime soon. If Joe Harris were to join the New York Knicks, it would be a downgrade of astronomical proportion for the player, as he would have almost no hope of being an NBA champion with the New York-based franchise. In that regard, it would be wise for Joe Harris to ignore the New York Knicks if they come calling for his services. As for Jay Crowder, Miami Heat were one of the biggest surprises in the 2020 NBA playoffs, as the young team made it all the way to the finals, where they lost to the LA Lakers in 6 games. Since that unexpected run, the franchise has been the subject of numerous NBA trade rumors, with a few of them speculating about the future of their starting power forward Jay Crowder. The 30-year-old was an integral part of the Heat team that reached the 2020 NBA Finals. As a vital 3-and-D player for the team, Jay Crowder knocked down shots in clutch moments while putting in some impressive displays at the defensive end of the floor as well. Based on his performances, some would even argue that Crowder was the silent third star for the Miami Heat. However, with the player entering free agency this offseason, it remains to be seen if he opts to remain with the team or moves out. Even if its roster stays the same, the Miami Heat have proven that they are strong enough to make another run to the NBA Finals next season. The team is young and is only likely to improve with time, something Jay Crowder will be keenly aware of. After bouncing around the league in the last few years, Crowder may have finally found a home in Miami. The 30-year-old fits immaculately into the Heat system and has already earned a starting spot on what is clearly a championship contending team. With the team having a genuine shot at winning an NBA championship in the near future, Jay Crowder should look to remain at the franchise, something that could be the players as well as the Miami Heat's best option this offseason. The Atlanta Hawks are interested in Jay Crowder, according to various NBA trade rumors, but the player needs to stay away from the franchise. The Hawks are one of the most exciting teams in the league, however, in terms of results, they languish closer to the bottom of the competition than the top. While that is somewhat justified as the Hawks have a young team, Jay Crowder would only be wasting his prime if he chooses to move to Atlanta. Jay Crowder potentially has a few more years left in the NBA. Spending those years in one of the least competitive teams in the competition would undoubtedly be the worst-case scenario for the player. Lastly, for Dwight Howard. LA Lakers have now won 17 NBA championships, with their most recent title coming in the Orlando bubble. The LeBron James-led team was one of the most dominant ones last season, as it made light work of most teams it came up against in the postseason. Dwight Howard, as an impact player off the bench, was a key contributor in the franchise's dominant run. However, with the player turning to free agency this off-season, NBA trade rumors have speculated about his possible next destination. At 34, Dwight Howard finally became an NBA champion. And if he chooses to stay with the LA Lakers, he could win more championships. With LeBron James and Anthony Davis being one of the most dominant duos in the NBA right now, the franchise has a very strong base already. If it could retain players like Rajon Rondo beyond this season, it has a very good chance of making another successful title run next season as well. Dwight Howard may only be a role player for the team, but with his age and current skill set, he doesn't have the ability to be a starter on a contending team anymore. Considering the same and the fact that the LA Lakers have a very good chance of making another championship run in the near future, staying with the franchise would be Dwight Howard's best move this offseason. The Houston Rockets' small ball lineup may have been entertaining to watch during the regular season, but it miserably failed them during the 2020 NBA playoffs. According to NBA trade rumors, despite the failure of their preferred system, the franchise is likely to continue the same, but with a traditional center. While that may be a step in the right direction for the Houston Rockets, Dwight Howard needs to nevertheless stay away from the Houston. For starters, there are questions surrounding Russell Westbrook, especially after his performances during the 2020 NBA postseason. Couple that with the fact that the team could take time to adjust to the system of a new head coach, their chances of immediate success are very remote. Considering the same, even if the franchise is apparently moving in the right direction, a move to the Houston Rockets would be the big no-no for Dwight Howard this offseason. And that will conclude the video. Let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. With that being said, I am out. Peace.